I've spoken to you, and how many of y'all are guests? I don't want to keep going now. But can I show you one more time? Okay, if y'all don't mind, I think we need to give them a round of applause. You know, I say this, I think I say this every time I get a chance to come over here, and, okay, let me do something over here. Okay, it's not going. Okay, there we go. And you're on the radio. How many of y'all have children? How many of y'all have more than one child? Okay. How many of y'all know you're not supposed to have favorites? Okay. And I try not to do that in my marriage, my kids and all that, but and then my grandbabies now. But you know, it's hard not to for this to be a favorite place. I get a chance. I have the opportunity. I have 3 offices in 30 different states that I get a chance to work with. That I've had the privilege of recruiting and building. I've got 300 vice presidents, about 7,000 agents nationwide. In my firm, this firm's office, the company's a lot bigger than that. This is my business, but I've had the privilege and honor of either building, and you'll see this tonight, we're the only company on the New York Stock Exchange or the Dow Jones or the Fortune 500. We're the only company that allows you to build your own agency and then you own it. And that's pretty cool because, you know, most times you go to work for the company, you're working for that company, and you may be loyal, dedicated, and all that kind of stuff, but in reality, you're building their company. Does that make sense? Whereas here, you're building something, and I don't know how y'all are, but if it's something you own, you take a lot more pride in it. And if it's something, now, as a believer, I think you're supposed to take pride in everything you touch, okay? If you rent a car, you're supposed to take good care of it, right? But how many of y'all know you probably don't? You know what I'm saying? You trash it out, you run up on a curb, you try to get something fast, you go, and you don't care how close you park the cars. But you know, when you're building your own business, that's what we're going to talk about tonight, you really do take a lot of pride in it. Then there's certain parts of your business, and once again, I've got offices up in Indiana where I'm from, I got them in California, I got them all over in Texas, New York, New Jersey, all those areas like that. I live in Baton Rouge. I'm not originally from Baton Rouge, but I live there, and so my home base office is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm very proud of this. Our company has 5,000 offices, and my office in Little Baton Rouge is the single most highest producing office in the entire company's history. And the reason is we do what y'all do here. We recruit a lot of great people. I played sports at LSU and stuff, and so I recruit a lot of athletes. I was a coach, so I recruit a lot of coaches, but I've also been involved in churches all my life, so I recruit a lot of people in the ministry and things. And we recruit great people in the Baton Rouge community, but then we train like crazy because that was my background. I was an athlete, I was a coach, and so all I knew was how to compete, how to train, and how, you know, if you outwork people, you could probably be successful. All those things I brought with me in my business. And when I come over here to this area, honestly, God, I feel like I'm at home because you guys have done the same thing. You recruit great people. You've got good, strong values, morals, ethics. And I was in Shreveport Monday night. I don't know, anybody know where Shreveport, Louisiana is? Okay. And it's just kind of a little bitty town, you know. And we say it's not hell, but you can see it from there, you know. But Shreveport, Louisiana was voted nationwide the least secular city in the entire United States, of any mid-major city up to big cities. And it was non-secular means they haven't lost their way. They've still got morals and values and ethics. It's still part of the Christian belt, and they're very high as far as marriage. They still believe in marriage. They still have a very low divorce rate. They have a lot of people that attend churches there, and you just don't have hardly any crime. But it was voted the single lowest, least secular city in the entire country. And when I went to the meeting there on Monday night, you can just feel, when I opened that office up a number of years ago, I wasn't from there, I didn't know that many people there, but it was like when we started recruiting that area, can't you just feel it when you're around the right kind of people? And I felt that, you know, then, and I told them I felt the same way when I went back there, but honest God, this area, when I come in, and I'm not just here in this area, but I think the leaders here, what y'all done in creating the environment y'all done and building the leaders that y'all built is really something unique. You need to be very, very proud of it because it's not like this all over the United States. I'm not saying that we have a great hierarchy and the company's a great company, but y'all really haven't done a good job. Now, my personal advice to y'all would be to take advantage of this in your local area. Because in Houston, this is obviously a very big city. You would never have to leave the Houston community for all y'all to make several hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars like I've had the business doing in a year. You know, you could get to build your business. This area, you could never touch this market, okay? We could actually move our entire company which were the largest company, the largest financial service company in all of North America, we could move our entire company into your area, and we could work in this area for 10 years now. We're getting in the market, the rest of the entire nation, and we still wouldn't touch 10% of the marketplace. That's how big the opportunity is. So when you see this tonight, and you see this crowd, if I'm you, I'd be already thinking, well, they probably don't need anybody else, and that's absolutely not true. Our company's done demographic studies, and this area is one of the least touched areas in the entire United States. So once again, I've been doing this for almost 37 years, and Baton Rouge is not even close to the population. You guys got more people, twice or three times more people in the city of Houston than we have the entire state of Louisiana. Okay? And so we've been in Baton Rouge, the most heavily penetrated market in the entire company's history, and I've been doing this for 37 years there, but the guy that recruited me was there 3 years before me, so 40 years in Baton Rouge, and the most penetrated market there is in the entire company, and we've only touched 3% in Baton Rouge in 40 years. So what does that say about the business opportunity? It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and our competition has gotten smaller and smaller, so the opportunity that you're going to look at tonight, if you'll open up your mind and just seek wisdom and discernment, and you come in here with someone of an open mind. Anybody ever met anybody that's got a closed mind? Now, some people are so closed-minded they can see through a keyhole with both eyes at the same time. An arrowhead working, thing working, you know? And I want you to understand there's a concept that they've never erected a monument or a statue in the history of the world to a skeptic or a critic. Now, the reason I'm saying that, you can find fault in anything. You can find fault with me. That's not that hard to do. You can find excuses. You can find fault with any company, any business. You know, like the wall. We know it's warm in here, okay? So we know it's warm. But if that distracts you, then you're not looking at the right thing. Because how many of y'all would agree, compared to what other people are going through in the world, being in a nice hotel with a little heat is not quite that bad, okay? And so, you know, but if that distracts you, if that's, you say, well, you know, they had the wall open, they didn't have that side as clean as it should have been, you're missing the whole point here. And so to tell you something real quick, I'm going to jump in the presentation. When I saw this business 36 years ago, I didn't have any background for this. I was a coach, I was a teacher, I knew nothing about business, but I knew how to win, I knew how to compete, okay, because that was my background. I knew I wanted to win again, and I knew I was willing to compete in a business, even I didn't know anything about it, if they were being willing to teach me. And I'm very coachable, very teachable, because I want to win. And so I went to a meeting, it wasn't like this. It wasn't in a beautiful hotel like this, it wasn't a guest there. So I was there by myself. I'd taken off my lunch at teaching school, and I'd gone over to look at this business that my wife had been selling real estate with a guy just joined the company. They had just moved into Baton Rouge, and they were expanding in our area. They really weren't cranking yet. They really didn't have any success. And so they were recruiting me, and I knew they were recruiting because that's what I did as a coach. The coaches recruit. I've been recruited to play ball at LSU from Indianapolis, high school in Indianapolis, so I understood the recruiting game, and I was getting ready to go into college coaching, so I totally understood I was being recruited for colleges because they knew I could recruit for them to build basketball programs. Everybody got me on that? And so they talked to my wife, and they said, we'd like to talk to your husband, which is me, and they said, we would like to recruit him in this business. And she said, listen, he won't be rude, he's not that kind of guy, but he's crazy. She said, if it doesn't have to do with basketball, he's not going to be interested in what she said. I'm just telling you up front. She said, I think he's got a lot of talent. I know he works like crazy, and I think a lot of companies would love to have him, but there's been all kinds of people talk to him, and he's just not interested in anything that's not coaching and teaching related, because that's what I love. And so when you see this guy, this was something, when I saw this, it was like I was miserable, and I loved what I was doing. I didn't love the money I was making. Anybody know what I'm talking about? And then every summer, though, what I do every summer, I would do like construction work, pipe fitting, welding, carpentry work, tie iron, I laid pipe. I did everything you do to make what? Money. And I hated every second of it. Now, I loved the money, but I hated the work. And when I was coaching, I loved the work, but I hated the money. And so I was at that point in my life, I was a 29-year-old, and my wife was making the money, and I was doing something I loved, which was a pretty good work, and I just do what I love, right? So the reason I'm telling you that is, my wife did not marry me because I'm rich like I am now. Matter of fact, they ask me all the time, Leslie, somebody said, would you still love Bill so much if he wasn't so rich? And she said, absolutely. I'd miss him, but I'd still love him. And so I took my lunch break, and I came to see this business. Now, I didn't know this business. We weren't the business we are right now. We weren't on the New York Stock Exchange. We were still about $1 billion company, which is not bad, but we weren't the size that we are right now. We were not backed by $3 trillion of assets like we are right now. We were not accepted in the industry like we are right now. We were not the talk of the North American continent in the financial arena we are right now. We were kind of a startup back then. We were doing what was right, but nobody knew even our concepts, much less our company. So I took my lunch break to see what you're fixing to see right now, but here's the difference between maybe me and some of y'all, okay? I'm not that smart, but I understand when somebody presents something to me, that the facts are the facts. Does that make sense? I mean, you don't have to be that smart, you know, because I've been a born-again believer since I've been 17. A lot of people say, well, I got to pray about everything. Well, if you got enough wisdom and discernment, you shouldn't have to pray. I mean, if you pull up to a signal light and it's red, if you got to pray about that one, you're an idiot. There's just certain things that doesn't require that much thought. All this, I said, this makes sense. And then the second thing I said is, I can do that. For the first time in my adult life, at 29 years old, I realized I could do something other than coach and teach. And I said, and not only that, I said, I want to do this because I want to make extra income. Because here's the thing that got me in. They did not recruit me and say, you got to leave coaching. What they said was, we're going to allow you to stay in coaching. Because the only thing that would ever got me out of coaching was the fact that I wasn't making any money. And if Leslie, my wife, got pregnant, then we didn't have any money coming in. And how many of y'all got kids? How many of y'all wear selfish kids? They want to do things like eat. So I started realizing I wanted to find something I loved doing. I wanted to make a lot of money at it. I wanted to have some freedom. And I wanted to have some options that if she wanted to go back and work, fine. But if she didn't, I didn't want to starve. I didn't want to lower her quality of life. Is everybody with me on that? Yeah. So I saw this initially as a way to make part-time income. And then what happened was, as I got better at it, I started thinking, I can coach for free. 4 years later, we were cash managers. So I go from being a high school basketball coach, making $16,000 a year. This was 37 years ago. That's what teachers were making back here, teachers and coaches. To where I make more than that, I was making $16,000 a year. I make that every day now, 365 days a year, whether I work or not. Now, what did I have to do? I had to learn. I had to subject myself to some coaching, and I had to subject myself to some rejection because this was not my chosen field. So initially, you're not good at this thing. But I knew how bad I wanted to win. And I knew it made the people I knew trusted me and liked me, and so I started doing what a lot of y'all do tonight. I sat through a meeting, then I started learning, and then I started recruiting other people in the business. You know what I realized? They had to learn, but I knew something about this, so I could teach them. I started building my little business. And then after about a year, I became a vice president of Baton Rouge, owned my first office. I was really, we made $110,000 in the first year, which is not a lot of money, but 37 years ago, that was a lot of money, $110,000. We saved all that. My wife kept selling real estate. The second year, we made $252,000, excuse me. And we basically saved all that. We kept living below our means because this is what this company teaches. We don't just teach you to make a lot of money and stay broke. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have done that. With my personality, I would have spent every dime that I made. I don't know if y'all like me, but my mom used to say, you gotta, we grew up with no money, and she said, you got a champagne appetite with a beer income. Anybody ever told that, right? And I just like to buy crap. You know what I'm saying? I'm the kind of guy that just likes to buy. I don't like to buy, I like to buy. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no crap. Because we grew up so poor, once you start making money, I mean, God knows I spent money when I didn't have it. Now all of a sudden you start getting it, you want to buy crap, you know what I'm saying? The founder of the company said, no, we don't want to be like every other company. We don't want to recruit, train people that make a lot of money and then be starved to death or have to go out and keep working the rest of their time. We want you to be financially independent. That's what we pride ourselves on back then, was recruiting people, teaching you how to manage your personal finance, show you how to make a ton of money, but to get free, where nobody could ever, now here's the founder, get to this, where nobody could put their thumb on it. That was the whole concept of how we built this great company. And so the next year Leslie and I made $369,000, my third year in the business. I was 32 years old. She resigned from selling real estate. And my fourth year, we made $669,000, and we saved our first $1 million in cash at age 33.
Wow.
Now, that was my story. And then, of course, now I make several million a year, and I've got to miss all. But see, I started off with just like some of y'all that are here tonight, a guest. I was a guest. That was just me. Okay? And I thought they were just recruiting me. Then I started realizing no, they're recruiting everybody. I just was there by myself that day. Me and a cockroach. It was a cockroach there, right? And then you know what happened was I started recruiting. And I had 2-3 people come to me with a meeting like this. And all of a sudden I started building an agency. And now my firm is as big as most financial service companies in America. And I started off just like you, by myself, scared to death, not knowing if I could do this, thinking about just making $500,000 a month. And now I drop $1,000 to $3,000 from lunch a lot of times. Can life change? Yes. But you gotta want it to change. And if you're sitting here tonight and you think we're here tonight to try to persuade you, convince you, beg you, you came to the wrong place. We're gonna present something to you, but it's like here in the Gospels. If you ever notice, the Lord doesn't kick the door. The handle, the doorknob's on the inside. You know, he knocks. But where's the doorknob? It's on the inside. What's he saying? If you don't open up, I don't come in. That's your choice. What's the same way tonight? We're not here to kick your door down. Now, we want you in our business, but we don't need you. We want you. Now, if you want to be wanted and you want to be valued, you're at the right place. If you want to be treated the way you deserve to be treated, because some of you are going to be your jobs every day, and you're not being treated, not just financially, you're not being treated the way you need to be treated, the way you deserve to be treated, because some of you are giving your time, effort, you're taking time from your family, your kids, your spouse, and you're giving it to somebody else to make their dreams come true. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Understand this, I'm not knocking your companies. That company's objective is to make a profit. You're just part of it. There's nothing neat there. There's nothing, your boss ain't doing something wrong, the company's not doing something wrong, the man's not out to get you. The objective of corporations is to stay in business and make a profit. You're a pawn in that entire game. And so if they start paying you too much money, that takes away from the profit of that company. Does that make them a mean company? No, it makes them a smart company. Just like you gotta think about your personal finances, your personal financial planning, and if somebody comes to cut your grass and they want $20 to cut your grass or $50 to cut your grass, you're not gonna say, well, let me pay you $100. You're not gonna do that. You'd be an idiot. You're gonna try to get them to do it as cheap as they can, right? Why? Because if not, it comes out of your pocket. You understand the same thing with a job now. As long as you understand that, is a job fair? Yes. But if you don't like the rules, then I would put myself in a position that you set the rules. That means you got to become self-employed. You got to have your own business, right? So you can call your own shots. Is everybody with me on that? Okay. So tonight, listen for those kind of, and we're not saying you got to go full-time, you got to make this, because some of y'all right now, this may not be your deal, right? But what if you could just come with us, make an extra $500,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month part-time? And let's say you don't even be something, you become big-time success, but you just make 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 with us over the next 5 or 7, 10 years. You say, you know what, this just ain't for me. But you get an extra 50 to 100,000 saved, and then you let that compound, and all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're a millionaire. Right. So there's no downside to what you're looking at tonight. None. And let me tell you, even if you just totally fail here, but you get the tax advantages of having being self-employed, we don't have to pay all your tax on like most of y'all do. I mean, how many of y'all got cell phones? And you probably pay for that stuff because you don't have a business, you're not in business. You're an employee, which means you got to pay for that because you don't have a business. Most of y'all drive cars. You got to pay for that. Well, that's stupid. I mean, think about that. I don't pay for my car, but I run through my tax month, and my wife drives the biggest Benz there is. My daughter's on my payroll. She drives a nice Benz. I've got an Escalade. I've got other cars and all kind of stuff because I got a business. So we probably live kind of the same. Well, maybe not the same style. You know where I'm going with this, okay? But see, you can't do what I do because you don't. Not that you don't make my money. You don't make the money the same way. You're employees. You're not self-employed. You're not business owners. So when you look at this tonight, understand we're just going to hit the surface. If you really want to know all this stuff, I can't even cover the whole compensation of it. It would take me literally 2 or 3 hours just to cover the entire compensation. talk about ownership, you can't comprehend what it really means to own a business. You really don't know. You just think to own a business means you got to put up a lot of money to own a business. But I don't know about y'all, but has anybody in this room besides me seen any of these quote unquote businesses go out of business lately? Just on the street in Baton Rouge where my office is, there's been 3 Quiznos go under. There's been 2 Subways go under. There's been another 2 Arby's go under. Now, how in the world does Arby's has the best food in the world? They've been a Burger King go under. There's been a Waffle House. Now, how can that many people, you know how many people go to Waffle House? Okay, every person in the world ain't got no teeth. Go to Waffle House, right? And you know what? Don't think about that. Every time one of those businesses goes under, that means somebody lost a ton of money. You ain't got to worry about this here, guys. This is not something we got you here for. We need your money. We don't need your money. We got 3 trillion backers. We don't even need your opinion, to be honest. No, I'm just trying to be frank with it because we're a proven company that's been around for 40 years. Who's got the back of the biggest companies in the entire world. We're licensed in every state. We're licensed in different countries. We're licensed by the state and federal government. So obviously they've given their opinion. We have the highest rating of any company in the financial service arena. We're in the top 1 percentile, the most trustworthy companies in all North America. This is a big proven deal. But we're still trying to recruit you. We think you can make a difference in our company, and we know we can make a difference in your life. So I want you to go with me on this. We're going to go through this real fast. Forget all the facts, okay? I heard a good joke the other day. This guy walks up, and his little kid sitting on the porch. He's got this big old dog sitting next to him. And he asked little boy, he says, "Is your dog biting?" He said, "No, sir." And he reached out and pet the dog, and the dog just like tore the guy's arm off. And he looked at the kid and said, "You said your dog don't bite." He said, "I did." And he said, "That's not my dog." So you want to get all the facts. Does that make sense? We got 3 people that didn't get that yet. They're like, we did it. Okay, probably guys from Dallas, right? Okay. So if you don't mind, anybody getting cell phones, put those in vibrates done. Anything would not disrupt anybody. I'm going to have to go through this thing real fast because I spent too much time talking. Any questions? We're big into that, but we're going to provide you with material. We can show you how to go online. We can show you, we give you the print material. But anything that I say tonight, if you want copies of it, just ask for it. We'll get it to you, okay? It's no problem. Everything has to be federally approved, state approved. We couldn't present it to you publicly tonight. All the facts are there also. We'd ask you to just keep the movement to a minimum. That's just professional courtesy. For you won't, get up, down, bother anybody. It just happens that they said that from okay. We appreciate that. And then just have a good time, okay? So, how many of y'all, I want you to see this. Anybody ever heard this one? They say, "I know everything there is about Primerica." Okay? We spend millions of dollars designing our logo, and then people say Primerica. I mean, I don't know how they get that, but they get it, right? Which is kind of a standing joke of Primerica. But that's not all they say, and it's because they don't have the facts. Obviously, I don't say that because I know I was around when we developed the name Primerica, and we were with a Travelers company that we went with, and then we came with the Travelers, changed its name to Primerica. We became Primerica, the marketing division, the big red umbrella, number 2 recognized logo in the world, is even on my ring. That's who we were. Then we merged with Citi Corp and became Citi Group. And that's the biggest company. That was only $2 trillion company in the world at that time. That was us. We were their marketing division, and we were known as Primerica. But people that said, I know that Primerica thing. I know 5 people tried Primerica. So you hear all kinds of people like this. I tried that, and it didn't work. Right? They know all about Primerica, but it didn't work. Isn't that funny? We got more people making over $100,000 a year than any other company in America, just more cash millionaires, but this mower on, it didn't work. No, they didn't work, okay? You cannot not make money in Primerica if you work. You may know somebody that says it doesn't work, but they didn't work, okay? You can watch your dumb butt down and have to say that to me, okay? But it works, right? How about this guy right here? That's a pyramid, right? Okay? And people say that, isn't that amazing? Yeah, I think we're the only legalized pyramid on the New York Stock Exchange. And that's governed by the SEC and the Securities and Exchange Commission, FINRA, all these companies. But you're a friend, don't know nothing about nothing. Anybody got any friends like that that give your opinion about everything? Okay. How about this one? Yeah, you just go out and do a good job. Now, maybe people mean well, but they don't know business. They don't know business. The fact is, in today's society, this is a joke almost, a standing joke for you to get a college degree almost. Because it's just not paying off. And it's not going to change, guys. That's not going to change. It's just going to get worse. I agree, get a college degree. But I think it should be just so you have the college experience. Unless you're going to be a doctor, I like to know what you're doing in that case, okay? And then listen, one of your friends, you're going to do what? And they make fun of you. Now listen, I want you to take this very serious. Because we got some guests here. You're going to hear this between the time you get here into your car. Or by the time you get home, and it could be from your spouse, your friends, neighbors, and relatives. So I get to ask them, what do they know about business? Now I'm going to give you the facts tonight. Remember, get the facts. I'm going to prove everything to you, and if you choose to choose their opinion over the facts, then it's on you, it's not on me. Does that make sense? Okay? So let me take you through some of these things, okay? New York Stock Exchange Company. You don't just go to New York Stock Exchange if you don't want to, just because you wake up one day and say, well, let's go to New York Stock Exchange. You're going to raise hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, okay? So when we went to the New York Stock Exchange, once we hit the New York Stock Exchange, all these companies here, we broke away from Citigroup, and now we weren't captive, which meant we could sell products for other companies. Now, if you look at these companies up here, a lot of these companies up here are the biggest companies in the world doing what they're doing. These are how many of y'all seen Boya with a little orange squirrel on TV, that kind of stuff? They do more 401ks than basically anybody out there in the United States. You look at some of these other companies, they're multi-billion. In the case of AIG, it's a $1.7 trillion company. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think all these companies up here just said, well, you know what, we don't know if this Primerica thing is any good, but we'll attach our name to it. Matter of fact, we won't just attach our name to it. We'll write 10, 20, and 30-year contractual agreements worth billions of dollars and just see if this thing works out. Or do you think they did some real research? You think they came to visit some of our meetings like this? You think they came to our offices? You think they looked at the computerized books? You think they looked at our profit loss margins? You think they met with the regulators? Or do you think they rolled the dice? So if you talk to anybody and they act like they know more than you hear tonight, understand they don't know their butt from the home ground. Now they may be good people, but they know nothing about business. Do these people know something about business? Yes, sir. Let me convince you a little bit more. Okay? And by the way, these are our competitors. We don't even like half these people. But there's an old saying, if you can't beat them, you know what these people don't want to do, what I'm doing tonight. They want to make a ton of money in the financial service business, and they've got a lot of money. They develop the product, but what they don't want to do is they don't want to recruit like this. And you know what else they don't want to do? They don't want to, after the night's over, because it's kind of like a dog and pony show, anybody can do what I'm doing tonight. Okay? Anybody can really do what you guys are going to do after I leave here is what I do when I start here. This is hard. Because you know what you have to do tonight? Anybody can do what I'm doing right now. Anybody. But what's hard is to get somebody to show up at a meeting like this to come look at a business, and then what's hard is when they see this business, and we created more cash managers than anybody in American business, and they walk right out of this room and they become one of those 4 people I just put up on the screen. Now here's what I found out about people that treat you like that. Either you've given them permission to treat you like that, or you've given them a reason. Right. Most of your life you've been a jackleg and a screwball and this and that, and you never take anything serious. Everything you started, you quit. Everything you did a half-butted job at it, and you blamed everybody else in the world for your failure. This needs to be a place, if that's you, that you draw satellites in the world. They might have had a reason to doubt me in the past, but this is the last place they're going to have a reason to doubt me. I'm going to make it here at this company like a lot of us have done. Don't let this be another place. I count the cow patty place. You ever been in a cow pasture? How do you know where the cow's been latest? Just find the hottest, stinkiest, wettest pile of it. That's where that cow's been. They go out there and just, they let a big pile, right? And then what they do, they go over here and they leave another big pile. And at that time, this started getting a little harder, a little less steamy, right? And this is still hot, steamy wine. That's what they've been laying a pile. Then they go over here and they lay another pile. Now that's where a lot of people are. You meet them, they bounce around. Am I right or wrong? And then you wonder why nobody believes in you? You wonder why everybody questions you? And they won't follow you? Won't trust you? This needs to be the place you draw a line. Because we're not going to let you down. You may let us down, but we're not going to let you down. You need to take a stake here if you join us and make this thing work. Okay? So look at this. Most trustworthy, all these are just rating companies and this and that. The top 1% of the most trustworthy companies in American business and financial arena. This isn't our stuff, this is third-party stuff. Look at this. These are companies who choose to invest in Primerica. Now, one of the biggest things down in my personal opinion is right down here at the bottom, okay? Not just our competitors own our stock, but look at this. New York and New Jersey. New York and New Jersey are the 2 most regulated states in the nation as far as finances are concerned. Nothing in comparison. These 2 states have our stock in their retirement portfolio. Now, I think they do a little research because retirement means this has got to last what? Forever. So I'm not concerned what you think. These are facts. Do you understand that? Okay? These are facts. Remember the kid didn't get the guy all the facts. I'm giving you the facts. Okay? How about this one? Okay? Anybody ever heard of Warren Buffett?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Warren probably knows a little bit about money. Third richest man in the world. And what he said about Primerica is if you own any financial stock, any insurance stock, Primerica needs to be in your portfolio. And yet, your next door neighbor that you buy tonight, who's broke as a goat, can't pay the rent, is going to tell you, oh, I know, be careful. And yet Warren Buffett said you don't own stock in that company. I don't know who you're going to listen to, but I know who I listen to, people that have facts. A guy right here with Walburn Pincus. This is one of the biggest institutional investors in the world. He put up $250 million when we went public. Another guy by Ron Barron put up another $250 million. Their firm when we went public. This is two of the companies that I'm showing. There was hundreds of companies. Our stock opened up at 15 a share, now it's about 80-something a share. You think their shareholders are excited they want to invest in Primerica? Yeah. Did they roll the dice or did they make an intelligent decision? That's what you need tonight. You need to make an intelligent decision with facts. So if you look at this, Motley Fool, every newspaper in the nation has a Motley Fool blog, and it's the biggest investment blog there is. And it's talking about the fact that we have more people making over $100,000 a year than anybody out there in Microsoft is second, number one. And so I think that's pretty impressive because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money the company makes, how much are you going to make? You work with the biggest company in the world, Shell, over here, and all these companies, so what? If you're not getting rich, what difference does it make? Okay? So, let me go and tell you what we do. These are two false. Did you tell that? Okay. Have you ever noticed sometimes your money comes in the household and just kind of triples in? Now, would you rather your money triple in your household or flow? Okay, there's kind of a no-brainer, but I guarantee you most of your income's tripling. It's kind of tripling. Okay? Now, if you look at this, that's called income. Okay? Money coming in. But as soon as the money comes in, where does it happen to most time? It goes right back out. Now, if it's trickling in, it's going to kind of go out real fast because it's only trickling in. Okay, if it's flowing in, it kind of trickles out because so much is coming in. That's what you got to understand. Okay, so look at this. If you're on this left side as an employee or you're self-employed, pretty much the money trickles in. Now, in the first part, who controls the valve? The employer. So now, is the employer going to open the valve up and let the money just come flowing in?
No.
Give you a little bit, 2%, 3%, 4% pay raise, maybe, and they're going to turn it on. They're going to turn it on a little bit more. They're going to do $1 a year, an hour pay raise, $2, trickle. And you're going to spend it as it comes in. That's a big, you can't spend anything big, it's trickling in. Okay? Now, if you're self-employed, can you turn the valve up a little bit? Yeah. All you got to do is go out and work your butt off. Woo! And that money comes in. All of a sudden, though, you go on vacation. What do you have to do before you leave? Turn it off. Oh, it stopped. So if you average it out, it's still doing what? Trickling in. It doesn't have a steady flow. You're working, it's flowing in. But you're not working, it stops. So overall, it's what? Trickling in. That's anybody in sales. You're in real estate, you're in medical field, anything else. When you're working, it's flowing in. When you're not working, it stops. So overall, it just kind of trickles in. And that's your life. Now, let's take the other side. If you have a business, I mean a real business. How do you know if you have a real business? The money should flow. It should flow. It should triple. It should flow. Now, what if you own a franchise? You got to put up a lot of money, rest up and flow in. So the problem is you put up a lot of money, so is it truly flowing in? No, because your money had to go into that before it starts coming in, so it's probably still trickling. But I'm talking about a business that would generate you a ton of money, where it just flows in. Now, what about this? Now you got a business. Money's doing what? Flowing in. Now you go on vacation. You take off 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks, whatever you want to do. What happens to the money? Keeps flowing in. Why? It's a business. And how do you know if it's a legitimate business? Because you don't have to be there for the money to continue to flow in. So next week when I'm in the Bahamas for the entire week, I'll make about $100,000. That's what I make every week. Because it's a business that I'm having to do this, and nobody else does this. It just keeps on flowing. How did I build that? And then watch this. How about your investments? See, if you get your investments big enough, what can happen there? You turn it on, the money keeps flowing in, and you never have to do anything for it. if you get a job where the income's trickling in, and you got a 401k? Are you accumulating retirement? But how's the money coming in? Trickling. So when it's going to come out the back end, what's it going to do? Trickle. Now, what if we could show you a way to accumulate a lot of money, and now all of a sudden, because you got money flowing in, so you can accumulate more money than the trickle people can, and all of a sudden you turn that thing on for retirement, what happens to it? It flows. Now, what if you had both? What if you had a business that baby's flowing? And then what if you had an investment where that baby's flowing? Now you got a pretty good life, right? You're not having to work, you don't have to work for your money, and you're not even having to work for somebody else. You build your business, the business keeps working, flowing, the cash keeps flowing, you're setting pretty good. Now, I don't know about you, but given a choice, I think the right-hand side sounds a little more sexy and appealing than the left-hand side. Tonight's your choice. So you can't walk anymore and say, I never had a chance. It's like hearing the gospel. Once you hear it, you are accountable. Now, some of y'all saying, well, I don't believe in all that stuff. You ain't got to. Right now. But the scripture says, now, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, every need, even these two artificial things I've got, and every tongue. Well, see, I don't believe in all that. You ain't got to. But I think you're part of every. I mean, what part of every do you not understand? I'm not sure if I roll the dice on that one. Just gonna help you out here, okay? So now watch. Look at this. So if the money's trickling in, that's the kind of car you're driving. Little Ford, whatever that thing is. Money's flowing in, you come driving something like that, okay? That's on you. Money's trickling in, that's your home. Money's flowing in, that's your home. Okay? Money's trickling in, probably go to public schools. Money's poured in, flowing in, probably private schools. If money's trickling in, you're probably sneaking food in the movie theaters. Thinking nobody knows. I always get tickled. You hear it in a movie, you hear the stuff in the movie, you're like, they don't sell canned Coke in movies. They know you're sneaking food. Okay? And it's we're in the winter cold and everybody goes, you got all your food stuff up in the coat, right? I don't know that. Versus you're going to take all your friends, you're going to these big dinner theaters and dropping $50 or $300 and having some fun. Versus going to Kmart and buy the chunk of food over here, okay? I don't know, I've never seen too many Motel 6s that nice, but it's still a piece of crap compared to that. Now, some of y'all will be there soon, right? Okay? But now, this right here, you see that little place, this is the actual room. This is a whole part of this hotel. It's $25,000 a night. Wow. Now, you do understand, somebody stays in there. So you can choose to stay over here with a trickle, or you have a flow and stay a place like that. And that's now y'all mad at me, right? Okay? And then look at this, retirement. Trickling, or a flow. I don't know about y'all, but I'll do something about it, right? Here we go. Charity, trickling, flow. See, I don't know where your life, I don't know where your heart is, but I know one thing. It's all based upon your cash. So I don't know about y'all. I want to make sure my money starts flowing and it never stops. Okay? And you can choose that. All right? So let me show you this. What we do is personally, I'll show you the business real quick, we'll be done. But this is what we do with people personally. We want to get that flow thing working versus trickles. So we know the money's trickling in or flowing in, but either way, I can assure you this, they're probably mismanaging it either way. And here's what some of y'all think. Some of y'all think when I start going through the money part of this thing, you don't know any rich people. That's not our business. Now we can deal with it. But I want you to also understand this. In the country club where I belong, there's a lot of rich people. But let me help you out. They're still mismanaging their money as much as when they used to do when I used to teach and coach in high school. People just live a bigger lie. You understand that? When you make a lot of money, you can finance a bigger house. I just bought a home. It's about $5.5 million. A beautiful place. It's just gorgeous. And I could have done that years ago, but I downsized and I went back up and all that kind of stuff. I got grandbabies and stuff now. And in that country club, it's amazing. At the class I owned, Master P owned it before, and then a guy took it over that really had money, and then I bought it from him. You know, all the Rooster Steakhouse and all that kind of stuff, place got all those TV restaurants and all that kind of stuff. And he died, and I bought the house. It's just a fabulous place, okay? But either way, people are in debt with a trickling error. So don't think this only applies to poor people. but that's not true for broke people. So when money comes in, either way, do people have debt? Yeah. Do people have insurance? Yeah. Do people have taxes? Do people waste money? So what we do is when we sit down with them, we just go through this concept. So, like for example, debt is just two little come in, two little come out. Doesn't that make sense? It's not that complicated. So what we do is we look at all these different things where people spend money and they go into debt for. Now, would you agree with me that some of your friends are probably have something in here with debt? Would you agree with that? Yeah. Probably some of y'all have this, right? Nothing wrong with it. We just need to get this thing straightened out. So we ask people, we say, listen, we can show you a plan to get this thing straightened out, get you out of debt. Would you be interested? Now it's an IQ test. What can they say? Either yes or no. It's like being pregnant. Either you are or you're not. It's like, well, I'm almost pregnant. Half pregnant. No, either or you're not. Okay? All right? So, what we do is, it's real simple. Now, you know what some of y'all are going to say? Well, that ain't very profound. I can do that myself. You're not. You're not doing it. And your friends aren't doing it. So don't think just because of the simplicity of this, that everybody knows this. They don't know this. That's why we're in business. Because your friends don't know this. And if they do know it, they're not doing it. The Bible says, do not be hearers of the word, but be what? Doers. Man, if you know all this stuff, you're not doing it, or you'd be rich and debt-free. So look at this. We look at all the things you have debt on. And we just started a little debt stack. We run it through a computer. And this couple is going to be out of debt 23 years, pay $214,000 in interest. So we just set up a debt stacking program. The computer says, okay, what do we pay off and how fast should we do? What do we do? Which one do we pay off first? And then just starts accelerating, paying off the next one, pays off the next one, pays off the next one. And then pretty soon you look up and you're not paying $27 a month anymore. Why? Now you're what? Debt-free, but you got an extra $2,700. Now we don't want to take it and spend all of it, but let's just say now you're out of debt in 8 years, 15 years sooner. Now that's your choice your friend's going to make. You think they'd be happy or sad if we came over to see them? Because you're going to have to ask for appointments. Now they're going to think they're giving you an appointment to help you. But once you start showing what we do, just like yesterday, I said to the guy, he said, wait a minute, this is what y'all do? He said, look, I understand. He said, but you need to come see me and my family. I was trying to prove to God. He was with Whole Foods. He had been their human resource guy for the last 15 years. And I don't know if y'all know, Amazon's buying them. So guess what they're starting to do with all their top guys? Let them go. And they start with the older guys and the guys making money. Let them go. So I'm going through this. This guy has been making a lot of money, got a lot of money in his 401k. You know what he said right there? He said, look, I'm going to join y'all. He said, the first thing is you need to come see me and get my personal finances. So I go through. I said, your friends are the same way. So look at this. Now all of a sudden, if I just take a third of this guy, let him take the 1,700 of it, and let me just take 100,000 of it, let me invest in a quality equity mutual fund, that's an extra $1 million in retirement. Now they got a choice. Do they let me help them or not let me help them? And if they let me help them, you're going to see how much money that we make by helping that person. Now what can they say? They can say yes or they can say what? No. That's going to drive you crazy. Please don't take it down. I want you to take this one personal. You know how many people that are here tonight that are guests, you saw all those hands? You know how many of them need to make more money? Everyone. Almost every one of them have whined and cried and complained in the last 30, 60, 90 days about finances. You know how many of them are going to join? Very few. And they're going to make excuses, just like these people. And they're going to stay in debt. That's silly. You got all the facts. You need to make the right decision tonight. So look at this. This is another thing. Look at insurance. Okay, we review your car insurance, homeowners insurance. We shop it out, see if we can help you reach your rates. And if we can save you a little bit of money, you can invest that money. Now think about that. If you just save $65 a month for your car and homeowners insurance, don't sound like a lot of money, but properly invested, that extra $65 a month, which by the way, no other company besides us will even want to invest $65 a month. Right. If our competitors, if you don't have $250,000 cash, they don't even want to talk to you. We can help you to accumulate wealth. We don't just manage wealth. We help you to accumulate wealth, starting with little bitty amounts and going on to big amounts. $25 a month, you can open up an equity mutual fund with us. No other company allows you to do that. So look at this. All of a sudden now, we put that aside for your kid. Like the lady I was interviewing yesterday, she's got a 15-month-old child. I said, if you just save money right there, that pays for a kid's college education. Are there some problems today in our society with college debt? It's $1 trillion. Isn't that amazing? Now, think about that. So you go into a marriage, and you're all fired up because you got a degree, but you also have what? Debt. And you find this good little hunk of burning love, and he or she is in debt, but they got this degree. All of a sudden now, both of y'all bring 2 degrees in, but also 2 debts. Probably can't find a job that will justify your degree. I guarantee I'm right about that one. Now you come in with debt, stress because you can't find a job, but you're in love. How do y'all realize love ain't paying the bill? Okay? All of a sudden now you start bickering. You start fighting. You start arguing. You think, well, let's have some kids and I'll bring us closer together. You know what it does? It brings that child into a bickering family. And that never changes. And all of a sudden they get divorced because of financial stress. There's a little abuse going on, verbally or physically, God forbid. But it's the finances. Number one reason for divorce, spouse abuse, and child abuse in the nation. Financial stress. And as parents, because we didn't set aside a little bit of money when that kid was born, we contributed to that. And I guarantee a lot of y'all here, you're old buzzers like me. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, I grew up tough, they can do it too. Well, how's your life working out right now? Here's the other thing. When I went to college, it didn't cost much. Today, it's expensive. It ain't the same. When we grew up, as a kid, you could go out and work construction. You could make some pretty good money part-time. That ain't the way it is in today's society. So as parents, if we don't do our job, we are playing part of our kids' failures. And I don't know about y'all, there ain't nothing more important to me than my kids' happiness. Now, I don't want to contribute to their misery. Not when I can just stick aside a little bit of money aside. Look at this. How about this? Let's take it even further. Let's talk about life insurance. Now you think, well, that's something sexy and exciting to talk about. No, it's not. But is it necessary? I don't know how many of y'all grew up on the street like I did, but it ain't fun. And I don't care how sexy you want to try to make it sound, oh, I'm tough, I grew up on the street. No, I guarantee you, at some point in time in your young adult life, your young child life, you were miserable thinking how you didn't have any money, you looked at your other friends, this, that, and other, you're probably too embarrassed to fight your house if you're like me. I grew up like that. And I'm 66 years old, I'm a multi-millionaire, and I still think about that. I still think about, I don't care what I got to do, my kids aren't going through that. And they say, well, Bill, look how you turned out. I taught school for a number of years. For every one kid that turns out like I did, you know how many turned out bad? A lot. So you look at this. This person's got life insurance because somebody came and sold it to them, but they never explained it to them. We come in behind them and say, look, we double, triple your protection for half your money. Another choice. IQ test. Well, let me see. Do I keep getting screwed? Because a friend of mine who's supposed to take care of my family screwed me and showed me some kind of whole life universal out of capital life insurance. So you send it right down and say, how do I know if I got the life insurance? If you got any kind of life insurance that builds up cash, you're getting screwed. Oh, my company wouldn't do that to me. Really? When you feel that uplifting feeling, okay. That's not a cucumber tax. You understand that? Okay?
Uplifting.
So we save your money there. Now, guys, we're saving your money with double, triple protection. And listen, and a lot of people out there today don't even have a policy, so they need help. Now you say, well, I don't want to see myself in life insurance. Why not? It's a great product that people need and want. And why not for you? Because it's a way to become wealthy. If everybody needs it, you're doing it. How would you not make money? Oh, I'm too prideful. You're broke. You're not being mean. How's that not bother you? How does it not bother you when you got to tell your kids, we can't do something? You can't or you won't. How does that not bother you? Not when I got the ability to do it. The Bible says, well, when you're good to do good, do it. Well, this is good. You know how many people are going to go to, their kids are going to not be able to even have a decent life because when their dad or mom, the breadwinner dies, nobody's like y'all's come to see your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, and say, listen, you're getting screwed, or listen, you need a life insurance program. You need to get your personal finance straight. And if not for you, who's going to tell them? The other companies are not going to tell them. They're too busy out there trying to screw people. Guys, I'm not being melodramatic. This is what we do. My firm, just my firm, I paid $500 billion of life insurance, death claims. Just me. Excuse me, 580. That's a billion, a lot. Okay? That's a lot.
Wow.
More than any other firm in our company. I've written more business. You mean widows are out there taking care of because one of my part-time agents went out and had the guts to go talk to somebody, and now those kids don't have to live on the street like me and my sisters did? And all you got to do is be willing to take a little rejection, and they're going to pay you $5,000 for doing this every time you do it. And look at this. Waste. Anybody besides me? Oh, tax refund. Anybody's got back a tax refund? And they brag about it. It's like somebody bragging about how stupid they are. Did I say that? Because in the coaches lounge, we used to brag about, hey, I'm getting back 1,000. Oh, man, I'm getting back 2. Then all of a sudden I took this course, and I realized it's the dumbest thing you do is get back a tax refund, because all that means is all year long you overpaid Uncle Sam to give your money back with no interest. How stupid is that? That's like paying somebody to pickpocket you. Now watch this. You can leave here tonight, meet with one of my agents. They'll show you how to go to your human resource center tomorrow. You meet with them, you check one little box, you start getting more money back probably every week or every paycheck. Why would you not do that? Then you take that money that we save you, invest it every month. But see, your other companies don't do that because they don't want to invest you a little $50 or $100 a month. They don't want your business. We do. So all of a sudden now, we look at your taxes, maybe you get back, the average person got back last 2 or 3 years. But if you invest that properly, look at this. That could be up to as much as $750,000 in cash in retirement. Why would you not at least look to see if we can help you? It's free to find. Why would you not at least take the time to know one of our agents today? Unless you're just happy to stay where you are. Here's another one. Look at this. Anybody besides me wasting any money? Yeah, I know this for a fact because one of my guys at dinner just walked over, told me they went and bought a sissy, pansy, latte, pink penny, Starbucks drink. This guy wasn't, you wasn't. Okay? One of my guys, right? It was you. Okay? Now think about that. Okay, I'm driving home, I'm coming back from Shreveport, and I stopped at one of these places to go to the bathroom, give me a glass of ice, sweet tea, and they had this fresh pastry there. And they had these loaves, you know these loaves, they make it, and it was like pecan, all that kind of stuff. I said, oh my God, I just felt Satan saying, get it. I said, okay. I asked the lady for a fork. She said, you're going to eat the entire thing? I said, no, I said, I don't want a fork, because I'm going to take one bite and fix it and throw it away right in your trash can. If I take it in the car, I will even try anybody beside me like that. I know if I just take a bite and throw it away right, I won't eat anything unless it gets chewed on the back of the trash can. I've done that before, okay? Recently, too, by the way, okay? Now, it wasn't much money, it was $2.24. But I'd also just bought a glass of sweet tea. That was like $2, so that's like $5. How many of y'all have done anything like that? Will you buy maybe anything like this? The average person wastes $7 a day. How many of y'all have got that beat? I'm way above average on that. Most of y'all are too. Yeah. Watch this. You're not wasting $7 a day. Let me show what that means compounding. That's $212 a month. That's $1 million.
Oh, crap.
And yet, you know what's going to happen? Even though I've just warned you, guess what you're going to do?
Wow.
Yeah? You do the same thing. So, look what we saved that person. With them just giving us an hour, thinking they're going to help you, thinking they're going to help us. Oh, yeah, I'll help you out. Come by and see me. I'll be your guinea pig. Show me what you're going to be doing. I ain't buying nothing, though. That's what all my friends said. And I said, I don't expect you. I just want you to give me an hour of your time. And all of a sudden they see that. And now they got a choice. Do they want to change their life or do they not want to change their life? Watch this. If they take that money you just saved over the next 20 years, that's almost $500,000. Wow. You understand what we do for people? We don't like politics. We change people's lives. This is a big deal. This happened to my sisters. This happened to all my coaching buddies I know with, a bunch of people I went to church with, different pastors I knew. How many lives I've had the privilege of changing, not just recruiting, but clients. Because a lot of my friends didn't become atheists, but they became clients. Look at this. If you do that, just with yourself, do that for 30 years, that's over $1 million. I've got so many people that I've sat down with about millionaires that didn't have a pot to pee in when I said, now they're millionaires. Listen, this. You think everybody has to sit down and listen? Same advice. Some took advantage, some didn't. Watch this. 40 years, look at this.
Oh,
guys, that 40 years is like that. I'm 66 years old. I've been doing this for almost 37 years. I could have still been teaching and coaching Guys, every one of y'all in this room can do this. And if not, your children can once you pass it down to them. So let me wrap this up. Let me show you something, then we're done. As a representative of us, don't get just get your paperwork filled out. We'll show you that in a minute real quick before we end. But then there's certain products that you don't even have to be licensed. We appoint you. See what I'm saying? Because our company is licensed and bond with all different states. So we're responsible for you. So we have to supervise you. So you're not even licensed in these products. So if we show somebody get out of debt, that ain't much money. But you make about $50. Don't sound like a lot, but it took you maybe an hour. Then at the same time we're doing that, let's say we set up a legal protection service. Anybody besides me ever get a speed ticket? Okay. But these people can reduce it down. We don't have a move violation. They're going to get your records so your insurance don't go up and all that kind of stuff. And so you make about $50 now. Home you make about $75 if you can save people money on that. If you just do a life insurance training program with the manager, you're not licensed, you get a bonus about another $100 in that. And then now you know, since we're in so many homes, these other companies want us to do other products. So Vivint is the largest securities home monitoring company there is in North America, probably the most respected, and now you can even do that, and it takes maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, show them everything on the smartphone, all the different things you do, turn your electricity on, open the door for your dogs, let somebody in your house, do all that kind of stuff like that. It does everything. It's amazing. It's the best there is out there. And you make about $250 for doing that. Wow. So we got these products that you're just appointed. So if you did one of those a month, okay, and you did nothing, just one of those, maybe for one family, or it might be all different families, that's about $500. That's about $6,000 a year extra income. I bet I'm right. I bet there's not 5 guests in this room that can raise your hand and tell me you got a $5,000, $6,000 pay raise last year at your job. And you had to give them 40 hours a week. Here we're talking about 2-3 hours an entire month, max. Now, if you help 2 families, that's an extra $1,000. So that's an extra $12,000. Now, in addition to that, don't forget, now you're self-employed independent contractor. You got your full-time job, but you got your business here, so what do you do with all your expenditures? Write everything off. So your car notes, your travel expenses, any kind of phone talk and stuff like that, you're actually making money even if you don't make any money. Now, I don't know why you wouldn't join us if not for that, because you don't have any self-employed income, so you're getting screwed with the tax bill. And it's your choice. You help one family a week do these little things like that. You're not even licensed for this shit. You're just being appointed. That's an extra couple. That's $25,000 a year extra income. Now, I have a hard time understanding why everybody gets it. I really do. Now, all of a sudden, you get licensed, and we get you trained a little bit. Look at this. Now you get promoted. You determine that. But watch this. Same amount of money here, but watch how these start going up a little bit. Now you get more money because you're on a higher contract, and you determine that. It should be about 4 to 6 weeks. Look at this. Now you're licensed. So you don't get a $100 bonus, you get about a $500 commission. Now, I should stop by there. There should be puddles underneath your chair right now. You should just pee in your pants, okay? Okay? Same amount of money there. Now look at this. This is you're not even investment license with you. It's just one license. Look at this. One family an entire month, you got an extra $1,000 a month there. I guarantee you there's not 3 people in this room probably got $12,000 a lot of papers last year. You know, I know that's the truth. 2, you made about $2,000 a month. Look at this. 4, you're up to about a $50,000 a year part-time business, and you're just kind of getting started. Now the contracts from there start jumping. So you ask yourself, do you know anybody that would like to make an extra $1,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 a month? That's how I recruit. And if somebody says yes, I show them what I do. If they say no, I'm good, I leave. You see what I'm saying? This ain't that complicated. I'm not going to say, oh, let me convince you. You need to make more money. You know they need to make more money. They're just not willing to get off their butt and do anything about it. Okay? You don't need to worry about all that kind of stuff, right? You just show them this business. Now watch this. Now you can reach it. You just got a higher contract. Does that make sense? Because you recruited some people, and our company says we're going to give you a higher contract because you're going to be supervising people. You're not bossing them. You've recruited these people, and why they join us? What was the reason they joined us? They want to make extra income. Now watch this. Look at this. Now, what should catch us? $1,000 a month, $2,000, all the way up to $4,000 a month, right? So visualize one of your friends, neighbors around that you like, that you know, and you talk to them about making engineering, and they actually join. And it happens to everybody. There's no way you're not going to recruit somebody. It's not possible you're not going to recruit somebody if you show them this business. And we go with you to show it to them. You don't go with it by yourself. So remember these numbers. So now here I am. Here you are as a regional leader. You've got a higher contract. So if we're doing the same thing, look at this. You're actually making more money. Why? On a higher contract. So doesn't it make sense to figure out how do I get to the high contract? We teach you this, and we want you to get there sooner or later. You go on your own time frame, but we want you to get there, right? Because if you get there, obviously we're doing better. Does that make sense? Now some of y'all say, now I get it. That's why he's trying to recruit so you can make more money. No crap. That is the dumbest thing I hear when I travel. Oh, you're just trying to recruit me so you can make money off me. Well, are you freaking stupid? Of course that's that. Isn't that why your company hires you? Isn't that why the NBA pays billions and billions of dollars to recruit great athletes? Why? Because they want to win. I think Jerry Jones makes a little bit of money off the Dallas Cowboys. So he pays them a lot of money. Well, he only does it because he wants to make money. No crap. That's called business. You need to get in. Because somebody's already making off you. You just don't have a chance to have your own business. It's just silly when people say stuff like that. Okay, now look at this. Okay, that'd be like buying a McDonald's saying, but you know what? I ain't hiring nobody. I'm going to flip the burgers and wipe the toilets down. You ain't doing that. You put up $1.5 million, you're going to hire somebody to that crap. Right or wrong? You go into business so you don't have to work. This is just common sense in business. So what? As a regional, that's what I make. But look at this. So now I've got a securities license problem. So now if I go and have, I make an extra 1,000, 2,000, or maybe 5,000 or 10,000. But now watch this. Now, Ricky, would you help me out here? Okay, now watch this. This is some studs, so I'm going to help. I'm going to do this. Okay, so Jacob, if you don't mind, Ricky, if you don't mind setting up. Okay, now you might help me out. Okay, now let's just say these are three, let's say I recruit these three. Okay, tell me your background. Okay, so the title business. Okay, now I know all these people because they're with my business. Ricky, if you don't mind. Use truck driver. Okay, now before you understand it, it's got to make several $100,000 a year with us. I say, oh, y'all aren't truck drivers. You don't make what this dude makes. So I'd be real careful with my little ego. I got a guy who's stacking dog food. He's going to make $250,000 with this. So I'd be real careful with this stuff. Apparently, he was stacking dog food. He was making more than I was making for 3 degrees. Stacking dog food. He was making $80,000 from that. Your background? Customer service. So let's say you're recruiting. Now, these different backgrounds? Okay, different backgrounds, right? So we got title company, truck driver, customer service. All right? So let's suppose I recruit them. This is what I did with my ink pen. And if I recruited one district and he made one sale, I'd make a $240 override. Not much, Mr. Great. That ain't much money, but it's an override. So where was I? Where I wanted to be. That's an extra override. That's only an extra $3,000. Ain't much. But what if I recruit him, he makes an extra $2,000 or $3,000 a month because he wants to, but I make an extra $1,000 override. That's an extra $12,000. So let's say I get two districts, same thing. How about 3? So all of a sudden now, if each of them are making part-time income, I'm making $2,800 overriding each manager, but I put them in a business. I'm not getting their money. I just have a higher contract. There's no different in your jobs. If you're in the school system, same thing. If you're in the real estate business, same thing. It's just you can't get their job. Now all of a sudden, watch this. They're probably going to want what? Yeah, they want that higher contract. Now, to get that higher contract, they got to grow a bigger business. Is it good for me or not good for me? Think about that. So watch this. Now all of a sudden, I become a vice president because I'm recruiting some people that have some ambition. So because of my contract, watch this. This is the contract these people standing in front of you have. They're all vice president. Watch this. This is what they do. If they help one family an entire month, they make $3,500. One family. That's a small set. 2 families, $7,000 a month. 3 families, $10,000. 4 families, 1 a week. That means they work 5 to 6, 7 hours an entire week. That's $14,000 a month for their own income. Now I don't know what they're going to do the rest of this because we have the highest contract. Now my contract's not even on the screen. But watch this. Now, all of a sudden, that's what I made with an oil pen. So now, these districts, because of my contracts, he goes out and helps some families. I override everything he does between 1,000 and 4,000. That's with him just working for part-time. That's with him only helping 4 families a month. So he's making about an extra $1,000, $2,000 with me a month part-time. And I override that at $4,000 a month because my contract's so high. Ricky does the same thing. Okay? Look at this. They all of them do the same thing. That's 12,000 in overrides. But what if I had 6? Watch this. Charles, are you doing right? Charles? Charles Goldsmith? Tell me. He was a chemist. So it ain't going to be a bunch of dumb people like me and Ricky. Okay? With your mindset, okay, but you said, what was your background? Go ahead, stand up. Yeah, what was your background? Okay, advertising, okay. I know Francis is here somewhere. Oh, right behind, okay. Now, Francis, step forward. Okay, he's a youth man. Okay, now, we have to go through white guys, okay? Okay, so that's, we got a bunch more vice presidents. I'm going to have them stand up, but I want you to look at this. Now, guys, you got to visualize what these guys were, not where they are, because these guys are multi-millionaires, they make several $100,000 a year with us and all that kind of stuff. But youth ministry. And the guy who recruited him was my first recruit, was a football coach that coached me in high school. He's also a mayor. Charles was a chemist. I recruited a guy named John O'Neill. Actually, I recruited a guy named Jack Way, was a real estate developer. He recruited John O'Neill, was an engineer. They knew Charles, and they get the business, right? So think about the background. Title, truck driver, customer service, advertising, chemist, youth ministry. Is that different backgrounds?
Yes.
Okay, we all have friends like this. Now, they weren't all making several $100,000 a year when they started here. They started just like I did, got licensed. They got their feet wet, worked their way up to the district, then the regional, then the vice president. Now, some of these guys are senior vice presidents. But look at this. So if you had 6 of them, and they were just making part-time income. That's 24, anywhere from 6 to 24,000 a month overrides, and they added your income. Now, what could you do if you wanted to? You just forget about doing anything you want to. You don't have to do this. And you still can receive the override. So a lot of people do this. And now I didn't stop doing this until I was making $2 million a year. That's what I'm talking about. I kept doing this. You know why I kept doing this? Because I wanted a ton of these that would turn into a ton of these. So people say all the time, Bill, how'd you build so many vice presidents? What I do? I kept doing this when everybody thought that was stupid. And they don't think it's stupid anymore. Because I produced so many vice presidents that now are doing what? Producing vice presidents. That's just the tip of the iceberg of compensation. Now watch this, the other vice presidents, would y'all stand up, the other vice presidents in the room? Now, okay. Now here's me, okay. Here's me, background. Advertising background. Retail management background. Documentary background. Teacher. Background. Student. Background. Human resources. Now, background. Well, I was with y'all the other night. We all do a good see y'all get background. They discovered he's like promoted background. Halliburton's okay. Background, Sheriff. Court reporter. Man, she's been a millionaire with us a long time. Now, guys, all these different backgrounds, if you would have recruited them, if you recruited this group right here, you would be easy cash flow $1 million to $1.5 million just off this handful of people right here, because they've been successful. Now, how many other people do you think we recruited at the same time we recruited them that didn't stay? That's what you got to go through. So if you don't mind giving up for all the vice presidents. Kelly's standing up, I wouldn't know if he was standing up. Oh, he's standing up. I didn't know he was standing up. I'm sorry, I didn't realize he was standing up because he's like this. Okay. Sorry about that, Kelly. Okay. And obviously, Kelly's one of our real successful senior vice presidents area also. Very successful. Not successful this year. I didn't know. Okay. Kelly, go ahead and tell me. He always lies. Tell what you're doing. Tell what you're doing. Tell what your background is. He says like, that's bullcrap. I'll tell you what, he was from Pervert, Mississippi. He tells everybody it's pervert. He tells everybody he's like all that kind of stuff. He wore a hat, a hard hat, with these belt things around his waist, and tennis shoes and jeans. That's what he did. Now, I would laugh though, making $250,000 a year. I don't know. Been making that for a long time here. So, if you decide to join us, you got to think about why. If it's something you don't like about your job, that might be a motivation. If it's somebody like me, you love your job, but you just want to make extra income, that's good motivation. If it's somebody else in here that says, I just want to learn to manage my own personal finances, they'll help a few other people understand why I can't get ripped off and get your license and pay for all that, that's a good reason. If somebody else says, I want to really make a difference in people's lives, that's a great reason. And then some of y'all say, you know what, I want to have my own business. I'm tired of making other people rich. forever. That's a good thing. So you said, but either way, you got to start the same way. So how do you get started? If you're already licensed, a lot of people come to us with other companies because they can't build a business like we can. They can't. Even State Farm, you've heard of State Farm, they're employees. Which means something happens to them, the company goes and takes their business back. But one of my best friend's wife is making about $75,000 a year with State Farm. She's one of the top female State Farm agents. She just had a stroke. They're trying to figure out a way to take her business. Making $75,000 a month. If they get rid of her, make her retire, she only collects her 401k. Her income drops overnight from $75,000 a month to $15,000 a month, like that. Because it's not her business, State Farms. You don't own your business to the companies. We're the only one that allows you to do that. Another lady, Patty Schechter, I took over her business. She was making $1.6 million 15 years ago when her husband died. Now she makes $2 million a year. She has not stepped foot in an office in 15 years, been paid right at $30 million. Wow. Because she owns a business that I run. And she gets the income. So you go ahead and work for somebody else, Rachel. I see how that works out. Or come with us, build your own business. Okay? So if you're not licensed, okay, then what you do is you go out there and get your own license. It's going to cost you probably somewhere between $500 to $2,000 to $3,000 to get your own license. That's if you pass it the first time. And then come back and see us and we put you back in the same system. Okay, you have to get your own website. We pay about $7,000 a year for all your expenditure. Your website, you pay $20 to keep that thing serviced. Does that make sense? That's it for your business. But if you're smart, what you do is you join us. You're going to pay for a background search. You're going to go to licensing class. It's going to cost you $99. We pay everything else out of that. Then we reimburse you your money back. What's reimbursement? You get it back. Okay, you understand that? Now this is where I get real serious. If you don't understand this, and you even think, oh, that's what they're doing, that's how they're making all these billions of dollars of profit by getting everybody's $99. I understand people are saying that kind of stuff. So if you'd rather do this system, do that. You go get all your licenses. See how that works out. We have the highest pass ratio of any company. We treat you, we get you in class, we pay for all that kind of stuff, and then you can get that reimbursed back. We do not need your money, but you got to have some kind of skin in the game. Now let me say this. Here's what some of you are already thinking. Well, Bill, you're not going to say this out loud, but some of you are thinking right now, gosh, I'd like to do this, but I have to wait till next week. I want you to take this as hard as you want to take it. That's exactly why you need to get signed up. If you're sitting in this room tonight as an adult, and you think you're struck with $99, there's something wrong. That's sad. Children pay that kind of money for a pair of tennis shoes.
Yeah.
And you're a grown adult, but I'm saying, well, yeah, but I got all these expenses. You really need to join them. That's a stretch. Something's wrong. Okay, you know why I be that adamant about that? That was me. This is unbelievable, Senator Kennedy. I was 29 years old. Now, we didn't do this, Kelly, when you're not joining. We had to pay all this. I didn't have it. I wanted to join so bad, so my wife said, I'll pay for it. And she's reminded me for 30 years. Every time we get a paycheck, it's our paycheck.
Our paycheck.
It's our business. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care how you gotta get it. I don't care if you gotta put it on credit. I don't care. If I didn't think this would be different, I'd tell you up front, don't waste your time. Go out and don't do this. But guys, if you don't make money, the only way you could not make money is if you just simply don't work. And if you don't work, you shouldn't make it. The Bible says if you don't work, you shouldn't even eat. So you're going to do well here. I went into this. One of my favorite, just get back to the manager and show you how to get started. But one of my favorite stories is, and it's not a true story, but it's one of my favorite stories. This guy said, he's talking about getting all the facts. This guy's watching TV, and his wife walks up behind him and slaps the dog stick out of him. He turns and said, what are you doing? She pulls out this little piece of paper, and she said, look at this. She said, Mary Lou had a phone number. He said, it's not a phone number. He said, I went to the horse track, and it was a horse I was betting on. She said, oh, I feel so bad. She said, I should have known you'd never cheat on me. I'm sorry, sweetheart. So about 2 weeks later, he said, I watched TV. This time she walks over the frying pan, bam, hits him upside. Then he turns around and said, what are you doing? She said, your horse just called. Once again, I want to tell all the I really want to tell the leaders, and I really do have to, and I know I'm warning you out, but I've got to tell you this, okay? Because this means something, you know, because have y'all been keeping up with now? Is texting and driving illegal here now? In September? Okay, now you understand why they're doing it. Does everybody understand why they're doing that? It's not debatable anymore. More people are dying from texting than drunk driving. Listen to this. You think we don't live in a great country? More people in this country are dying by obesity than starving to death. There's no lack in this country. There's people lack of taking advantage of it. Period. Listen to this. About several months ago, about 2 or 3 years ago, I was a doctor. I do, dermatology, all that kind of stuff. They said that you got to stop getting to the sun so much and all that kind of stuff. And I'm no different than anybody else. Like when I travel all the time, I don't buckle my seatbelt. How stupid is that? Even though I've been informed, I don't do it. Anybody want to admit that sometimes you text when you're driving? Even though you've been warned, you still do it. So he tells me this. And about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I go on and he said, listen, we got to do surgery. It was 2 months ago. He said, we got to do surgery. You got a cancer in your forehead. You got a cancer. We're going to cut. And he told me why. So he comes in, and those receptionists, when I'm sitting in the waiting room for surgery, they come in and they said, ooh, he's fixing to rip into you. And I'm thinking, I'm fixing to pay this dude. He ain't ripping into me. Right? And I said, what do you mean? She said, that tape got more than it. She said, what do you think he knows? You're out in the sun all the time. I said, well, I play golf every day and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just making a excuse. She said, I don't care. He's fixing to rip you. And he did. When he walked in, I'm telling you, he called me everything but a white man. He ripped me so bad. Why did he do that? You know why? What do you see do all day long? He does surgery, cutting cancer out. He said this time he had to cut 2 or 3 different times, go pretty deep on there, at 18 stitches on the outside, all that kind of stuff. And he said, you got lucky this time. He said, the next time it could go into your brain. He said, you think we're joking with you. He said, you think all this stuff about his head and stuff, that's fine. He said, but if you don't start wearing sunscreen all the time and wearing a hat and you play golf all the time, he said, don't think about me. I said, you're not, just what I said, swear to God, how stupid am I? I said, well, you know how dumb I look with a hat on? I said, look at these ears and this nose. I look like Dumbo the elephant coming out of the road. Here's what he said. He said, you know how dumb you're going to look with no nose? He said, because we may have to cut off half your face if you keep doing that. Now listen, why didn't I pay attention the first time? I didn't think it was going to happen to me. Why do people keep texting and driving? They don't think it's going to happen to them. Why do politicians and athletes and everybody out there go that cheat on their spouse and go to a whorehouse and that kind of stuff because they don't think they're going to get caught? Why are you going to walk in this room and think you're not going to be one of the statistics? You get down the road, you're not going to have any money. Or about this, what about you think that your job's secure? Why don't you leave here thinking, I'm good, when you know that's not the case? Guys, make a decision, and make a decision for the future, not just for today. Does that make sense? It's great. Thank you all very much for doing this. Great job. Thank you.